Okay, ready to start up with math now that our quiz is done and out of the way. I gotta find the right tab. I've got a gazillion of them opened up. I think that's it. Yep. We are moving on to page 317. I think I had it on the right page.
Yep.
Yes? Okay. So this is set up a little differently than ones we've seen before. It usually has like a word in the middle and then boxes around it. But this has us talking about length, width, and area. So if I were, let me get a writing pen up here. If I were to draw a rectangle in both of these, I'm going to do it for both of them. You can too. Do you remember which way was length and which way was width? Length just means how long something is, and width just means how wide something is. Okay, so length and width. What is the length of this rectangle? Is it this way or this way for length? Show me, is it this way or is it this way for the length? Okay, you are all showing me this way. That is correct. So let's do this. Write it kind of small, the word length, and then draw arrows going out from each side of that word. So if that is our length, what is this?
Our width.
That is our width. So I didn't leave myself much space over here. I'm just going to write the word width with an arrow pointing up and down, showing which is the width of that rectangle.
Can I do it on this side?
Sure. Either side, it doesn't matter. Because are they both the width on either side? Yes. All right, so length means what? How long something is. Let's write that down. How long something, could be anything, right? Something is. Width means how wide something is. All right, do you have your length and your width completed?
Yep. Yep.
So now moving on to the area. Let's just go ahead and draw another rectangle. And in this rectangle, pretend like those are perfect square units inside there. I did a 4 by 6. If you want to make your own, that's fine. But if I did a 4 by 6 rectangle, what would my area of that rectangle be? 24 what?
Square units.
Square
Units.
units. Maybe you're doing a 3 by 4 or a 2 by 5. You did a 4 by 7. Okay.
I did 4 by 6.
I did 4 by 8.
Okay. So the area of anything is just the amount of space that it takes up in a flat object. It has to be a flat object. Like, could we find the area of the top of our desks?
Mm-hmm.
Could we find the area of one of our workbook pages?
Yeah.
Could we find the area of the iPad?
Yeah.
Could we find the area of a ceiling tile?
Yeah.
Could we find the area of a window,
Yeah.
of a door,
Mm-hmm.
of a doorknob,
No.
of the shape of the sink,
Yes.
a cabinet door,
Yes.
the top of a Kleenex box?
No. Yes.
The top of it? The
Yes.
shape of that top is a
Yeah.
rectangle. Okay. All right. So for the area, let's say the amount ooh, that's an NT. I didn't lift up my pen. The amount of space, a flat, let's see, the amount of space a flat shape I want to say takes up or has. Actually, I'm going to say none of them. Covers. The amount of space a flat shape covers. Oh, there's a second part down there, isn't there? Okay, everybody have this? Okay, because I need to get rid of it in order to be able to move up. All right, so now, talking about Manny here. Manny skip counts by 4s 3 times to find the area of the rectangle shown. Would that work?
Yeah.
4,
8.
8, 12. Okay. Lee multiplies the length. What's the length? How many is the length?
4.
4. So Lee multiplies the length of the rectangle by the width. So 4 times 3. They both say the area of the rectangle is 12 square units. Why did both of their methods give us the same answer? Why are they both right? Connor, why are they both right?
Because you are skip counting 3 times, and when you skip count 3 times by 4, it's like saying 4 times 3, so it's basically like the same.
Is he on the right track?
Yeah.
Does he have the right idea going on? Or is he a little crazy? Is he okay today?
Yeah.
He's got it all straightened out in his mind today? I would agree with him. Because whether we say 3 times 4 or 4 times 3, we're still going to find the same area, aren't we? I'm not going to make you write it down though. You're welcome. Okay, let's look at, oh, we had more ink spilled. Do you remember that from yesterday?
Yeah.
Do you think we can still find the area, even though part of that is covered?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's read to see about Marcos. Marcos wants to find the area of the rectangle shown, but some ink spilled on it. How can he find the area if he cannot count all of the square units? He doesn't know how many squares are under there. How can he find the area? Oh shoot, only 3 people know. What can he do? Instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know how many are under there. I don't know. I can't find the area. How could he find it? Lucas, nice and loud.
You could just look over to the side and count how much it looks like is there on the other side, and then add how much you get from there, and then it'll be there, and then count the rest.
Okay. So you're thinking it's kind of like doubling this over here is kind of what your explanation was saying. All right. Another way? What were you thinking, Jenny? Nice and loud.
I was thinking that you could look at the bottom, count how many they are, and then they would have the same amount of rows, and then look at the columns on whichever side. You might want to do your left side, and you can find out how many there are in each row.
Okay. So could we create a multiplication equation to go with this?
Mm-hmm.
Write down how you would solve this. Even though we can't see everything, show me how you would solve it. What would be the easiest way for you? Okay, so what did some of you do for this? It says to check your answer, show your work, but you probably did all that up here. Okay, so we're doing 3 and 4 together up here. All right, so I'm just going to make that bigger. Okay, so what was it that some of you did here? Haley, nice and loud.
I counted how many were on the bottom and how many were going for in each column.
So this is what you did? Is that right?
Yeah. And then I multiplied the last two numbers.
Okay. So did you, let me see how you wrote it. So you went 4 times 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody do anything different than that? Connor, nice and loud.
I counted the width, then I counted the length, There
Okay,
was 5 and 4, so I multiplied that.
okay.
Turned it into an array. Multiplied 5 times 4 and 5 times 4 equals 20.
So then would 4 times 5 equal 20?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody do it different than these two ways? Jenny?
I followed the little like dotted lines and drew in the middle of the ink space.
So you just kind of filled in the missing spots there, the covered spots, I should say. So you kind of did that. Am I showing your thinking? Okay. Would that work too, friends?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody do it different than these 3 ways?
So I counted the thing
The half that you could see?
and then I skip counted because I know that there would be that much on the ink spot.
Okay.
So I skip counted 4 times.
So you kind of visualized it like Jenny did in a little bit different way? All right, very good. What did everybody find for the area of this rectangle?
20.
20 what?
Square.
Square. How can I abbreviate square?
SQ.
Thank you. SQ, period, and then units. Because that's what it's being measured in. So 20 square units. Did you label your answer for the area?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, let's look at the next page. Oh, well, this is a little different, right?
Yeah.
Are they helping us out here?
Yeah.
They really are. So, can you find the area of this rectangle?
Mm-hmm.
This is saying that it is 4 centimeters long and it is 2 centimeters wide, right? If you needed to, would it be okay? Move this. Would it be okay to draw the squares in there? Sure. Does that mean you have to do that? No. I want you to show me how you would solve that to find the area of the rectangle. Is it kind of cold in here?
Yeah.
A little bit?
I'm going to put on my sweater.
Oops, sorry. For those of you that still need the visual of it, you could split this up into square units. Is that 4 by 2, a length of 4 by the 2 inches or 2 centimeters? How many of you used a multiplication equation to solve it? Okay, so what did you write for your multiplication equation, Natalia?
4 times 2.
Anybody else write this equation? Did anybody flip-flop it and do the 2 times 4? Okay. Is it still going to give you the same area, the same product? Yeah, just like up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What is 4 times 2 or 2 times 4? 8. So friends, how would I write the answer if I were having to, I don't know, is there a line for it? No, they don't give you a solution line. Okay, so what would the answer be for what is the area of this rectangle? 8 what?
Square units.
Oh, it's not square units though.
Square centimeters.
So it is 8 square centimeters. We have to make sure that we label our answer with the unit of measurement that they give us in the problem. Okay, sometimes yes, it will be square units, but it wasn't in this case. All right. Let's look at their way that they show us we could have done it. You chose the way that was best for you on that particular one. So you could have split it up into those square centimeters so that you had the 4 for your length and the 2 for your width. Anybody do it like this? Where you drew the rectangle with those 8 square units in there, okay? All right, so they're saying the length of the rectangle is 4 centimeters. That's why they split it in 4 going across. The width of the rectangle is 2 centimeters. That's why there were 2 for the width. 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. So then you multiply the length and width to find the area. So we multiplied 4 times 2, and it equaled what, friends? 8 square centimeters. We're going to skip this. Let's go on to that next page where it says apply it. Problem 9. What is the area of the square? However you need to solve this, show me what it would be. Now, what is our unit that we're measuring in this time? Right, it's going to be square units, isn't it? Okay, so go ahead and show your work for how you would solve to find the area of the square. If you're one that needs to see that visual of it, could you have done that? And then if you need to, you could count each square, right? Or you could say there's 3 here, there's 3 here, and 3 here. Could you skip count by 3s? If you're skip counting by 3s, are you multiplying by 3s? Yeah, skip count with me. 3, 6, 9. So friends, what is the area of this square? 9 what? 9 square units. Could I have written a multiplication equation to go with this?
Mm-hmm.
What would that multiplication equation have been, everybody?
3 times 3 equals 9.
Okay. All right, let's look at problem 10. Shay has a rectangle that is 5 centimeters long. Think that's important to know?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to highlight that. It's 5 centimeters long. The area, the whole area of it is 10 centimeters long. Or is not long, but 10 centimeters, excuse me. I have to find out what the width is. So here's how I'm looking at this, you guys. They're trying to fool me. They're saying that 5 times this equals 10. Can they fool us?
No.
Do you have them figured out?
Yeah.
You think you see what they're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if this is our rectangle and it is 5 centimeters long, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's our width then? 5 times what? Equals 10. Do you know? 5 times, what is it? 5 times what equals 10, Raylan? She says 2. Is she right?
Yes.
Give her a round of applause. Good job. Okay, so what is the width of the rectangle?
2.
All right, let's write that down. So the width equals 2 what?
2 centimeters.
2, can we abbreviate that? I would rather, would you? 2 centimeters. All right, there's another problem down here. Everybody have this so that we can move on. Actually, so that I can move this up, really, is what I need to be able to do. A rectangle. I want you to draw a rectangle. Do you remember what a rectangle looks like? Prove it. Okay, a rectangle has a length. Which one is the length? Point to the length on your rectangle. I want you to label the length 8 inches. Can we abbreviate inches?
Yeah.
How do we abbreviate inches? What 2 letters? Lucas. I-N. So is this my length or is this my length?
The first one.
The first one?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. So 8 inches. What is the width of this rectangle? What does our problem tell us? 6 inches. Read the question with me. What is the area of the rectangle? Show your work. Go ahead and show how you would solve for the area of that. This is when it's really handy to know your multiplication facts again. I drew my rectangle wrong. It needed to be, yeah, it'll work.
Longer?
It'll be okay. I'll just squish it in there. Now, could I count every single square?
Yes.
I could, but if I really know my multiplication facts, what else could I do that would be quicker? What would be faster than counting every single square? Haley?
Multiplying 6 times 8.
Okay, so when we are working with area equals, I'm doing the cursive L so it doesn't look like a 1, okay? So length times width, right? So 8 times 6, or if I flip-flop it, would that be okay?
Yeah.
6 times 8. Anybody know their multiplication facts of what 8 times 6 is, or 6 times 8? 8 times 6 or 6 times 8. Jenny?
48.
Is she right?
Yes.
Yes. So the area of this rectangle is 48 what, friends?
Inches.
48
I had
square, because each one of those is a square unit. So 48 square inches.
I forgot the square.
Yep, because we're talking about those square units in there. Each one is a square inch there. Even though Mrs. Lofink can't draw a square. All right. Looking at 323, tear that out. And you can put your workbook in your crate.
Oh. I pulled mine out first. So did I. You're like the first one.
Perfectly.
Mine is
Okay, let's look at the example all together. It says a rectangle has a length of 4 centimeters right there. That's our length. And a width of 3 centimeters. So what is the area? Well, you could fill in the rectangle with 1 centimeter squares so that there are 4 squares in a row and that there are 3 rows. You can also multiply 4 times 3 and discover that it is 12. And if you counted all of those, would that equal 12?
Mm-hmm.
So the area of this rectangle is 12 square centimeters. Let's look at one. Do you see this rectangle over there? It's really close to a square, but it's not, right? Because a square, all the sides would be the same length and the same width. So what is the area of this rectangle? Write an equation. We have to write down, what's the length of this rectangle? Write it down. What digit did you write down?
7.
7 times the width. Write the width down. What digit did you write?
6.
6. 7 times 6, length times width, equals, do you know?
Yeah.
7 times 6. If you needed to draw that in, could you?
Yep.
Sure. Takes a little longer, but if that helps you figure out what the area of that is, you are going to solve for the square units. How many of you already did that? Because you knew what 7 times 6 equaled. Okay? I want you right now, work on 1, 2, and 3. So we talked about 1. 2, it says a rectangle has a length of 8 inches and a width of 7 inches. You're going to solve for the area of that rectangle. And then they say a square. What do we know about a square?
It has the same length and width.
Okay, a square has sides that are 4 centimeters long. Find the area of that square. Don't worry about going on because it's close to lunchtime. Okay, we'll stop on the front side of that today. When you have those 3 done, put that in a folder. I shouldn't have had you tear it out. I didn't realize it was so close to lunch. So put it in a folder when you have 1, 2, and 3 finished.